here. We've torn up most of the front. We've torn up all the carpet. We're kind of getting a tabula rasa first of all. We want to get a blank slate and then start from there for most of our reno stuff. But we've done a deep cleaning up on the front up here. It's a 20-year-old RV, so it's not going to be perfect. But we've taken everything out. I've scrubbed stuff by hand and bleached it and run it through dishwashers and all those kind of things. So we're cleaning it up before we start doing all the other stuff, because it's been pretty gross in here. If you've seen our earlier video, it's pretty bad. And again, the smell is way better than it used to be, but I'm working on that. And we're gonna hopefully get rid of that smell as we go. This is where the work's going on right now. This is where all the magic's happening. And as you can see, the kitchen is in shambles. I've tore out pretty much everything, finished it up last weekend, and now I'm rebuilding. I'm going with what I've got here. This is probably the source of so much of the smell, because there was so much greasy residue back here. It was so gross. I'm going to bleach this down really good before we clean it up. But then you can see the inner workings of what a 1998 Itasca Sunflyer looks like when you tear away the kitchen. So for anybody who is doing this kind of work, here's an x-ray behind what your kitchen looks like. So that's the hot water heater. I'm thinking about redoing some of this plumbing. It's not that hard to do, and it just looks old and gross. So I don't want to drink out of it if I feel like it's dirty, so we're going to get rid of that too probably. We'll see. But as you can see, there's carpet that they did underneath, so I'm going to tear that out and we're just going to rebuild. I've taken all the fronts of the cabinets off and we're going to redo it with new pine and then paint it. Possibly stain, but probably paint it. My wife's the boss on that one. We're going to leave these cabinets up. Most times when you see people on these videos doing cabinet renovations and kitchen renos, they basically take off the doors, paint everything white, put the doors back on with new hardware. I've made it a little more difficult than that, which is kind of my way of doing things. What can I do to make it as hard as possible? But I think once we get done, the final project is going to be worth it. I think it's going to look good. It's going to look nice. Planning on building countertops by hand with wood. And we've done that in our house. I can kind of show you what that will look like when we get to that point. Probably put a new stove in because that one's really gross. And just kind of do what we can to make this our place, make it look nice. We'll probably have a lot of white because my wife does love the white. But white has become almost a cliche lately, and we kind of want to pop some color and do something different. So we will have a lot of white, but we'll also try to mix some colors in. I think that is all subject to change because I am not the color person. That is all decided upon by my wife. But anyway, this is where we're at right now, and we'll make some progress and add it to this video. So what I've been doing is I've been taking these old pieces of the kitchen. I've been numbering them so I know exactly what to do. I'm not trying to redo the kitchen necessarily, like redesign it. We're just going to put it back the way it was, but we're going to use better wood. So I'm using the nice pine that they sell at Home Depot, which wasn't a ridiculous price. And I'm replacing these pieces with exact matches of the better wood underneath. So as you can see with this wood, I don't know what kind of wood this is. I'm sure there are people out there that can look at the grains and know exactly what it is. That's called a screwdriver, bud.
And with this do nails?
No, it takes out screws. I'll teach you about that later, okay? But as you can see, this wood here has they wrapped it, put my hand out of the way, with this stuff so that it looks a certain way. I guess this way they could say they had maple and oak and all kinds of crazy wood cabinets, but all it was just scanned, glued on veneer. And the problem is this stuff will not come off. You peel it, it just sticks to it. So that is why we decided to tear everything out of the kitchen. We just didn't want to paint over this because, first of all, it's covered in gunk, for lack of a better word, and it's just going to keep peeling up because it's just in bad shape. So we're just going to redo it with real wood, make real wood cabinets, and get rid of it. So, but in order to do that, I just get exact matches and cut it with my table saw here. So, hopefully this will all work well. So far, I've got quite a few pieces already cut over here, but I'm just redoing everything. I've got a dowel jig and I'm gonna recreate these pieces. Like this is a great one, for example. This is the old one, this is the new one. And I'm gonna dowel everything in. I'm just gonna do it exactly like it was designed because I don't want to mess with the plumbing or any other way that it's set up. So I'm not gonna make this too complex. It's already been created, no need to reinvent the wheel. The kitchen is fine the way it's designed, just gonna make it look nicer and make it brand new. Get rid of the smell and the gunk. So basically, I take the wood, I trace it, and I'm gonna cut out an exact replica. I'm not sure if I'm gonna match the edges yet. We'll see. But if so, then I'll just route it down and we should be good with that. This is just a decorative rounded edge, but it might be better than having a point. And as I do this one, I'll do it with all the others, and then we'll start to put her back together. And before you cut, make sure you put these bad boys on to protect your eyes. My legal disclaimer of the day. And just in case anybody's curious, this is the type of wood I'm using. Clay Mark Select Pine, a product of New Zealand, wonderful country of New Zealand. Hope to visit there one day. So this here is my Kreg Jig, and this is a pretty cool tool. As you can see, I'm taking the old piece of bad wood here, and I've made an identical clone, and now I'm going to put these little cuts that are in there. I'm drilling a hole in so that I can stick a screw in and they'll flush up real nice next to each other. So that's what this tool does. So highly recommend getting one of these. I've used one to build a table and it's awesome. It's so easy to use, so simple. Just pop it in here, lock it in place, and then you just use this little drill here, and you stick it down in here and you drill away. And when you're done, you've got a really nice looking piece of wood. I'll show you the final product. I don't want to film while I'm doing it, otherwise I'll screw it up. Alright, so I just finished, and let's see how she looks. Perfect. So you can stick a screw right down into there, and it'll bind up real nice and tight, and from the front you won't see the screw. Super easy. Now I've just got to do it on about 30 pieces of wood. So I've taken those cabinet pieces and I've been able to craft nice replacements with the nice pine, and I'm going to reattach these and have a brand new kitchen. It's going to be all new wood and it's going to smell new, and we're going to paint it, and at least we will know that it's clean and not this gross stuff that, honestly, even when I handle these as templates, there's a grease I have to wipe off my fingers. It's really gross. And I will just have peace of mind now knowing that this wood is new and an identical replica of what we took out. So the previous owner decided to rebuild these drawers with pallet wood, like real rough pallet wood. I don't know if you can see the texture in this or not, but it hasn't even been sanded. Which kind of makes for a really gross, unhygienic drawer. It just looks pretty gross in there. Caulk the edges, so unfortunately I've got to rebuild the drawers in this thing as well. We're going to reuse the fronts that are up here, but we're rebuilding the drawers. It'll make me feel a little better. But it's not too bad of a process, actually. Let me show you. So I got this wood from Lowe's because Home Depot does not sell this size pine, and I want to use pine. I don't want to use poplar or oak, it's too expensive, but I just want to use some cheap pine, and Lowe's had some at a reasonable price. And basically I had to rip them down to 9.5 centimeters, I believe, and I'm cutting some grooves into these so that I can just slide the wood in there. That's going to be the bottom of the drawer, so it should be pretty good and pretty solid. So yeah, I just set up my saw over here. It's really bright, so sorry if this is too bright, but I've just kind of set up the thing here to run this thing right down the blade, cut this little groove into there, and then I'm going to just stick them back together. So there's the old junky drawer. And here's my brand new one that I built right next to it. Much better construction. And just finishing these up here. Only have 2 more left, and then I'll have brand new drawers put in. So that'll be a nice little touch too. So I built these sweet drawers, and we're getting ready to put them back into the kitchen. Those are the remnants from the old drawers, so those are going to be gone. And I got some soft close ball bearing drawer slides, which are pretty awesome. You try to slam it and they close. Made by Everbuilt, but they're really good. A little bit pricier than a normal drawer slide, but it'll be so much better. Well, the drawers are finally coming together. I've never built drawers before, nor installed them, but wow, what a ridiculously time-consuming process. We put the sliders in that you slam it and they close, which is really important for us because we're a family. We have little kids who like to slam drawers, and the added benefit of this is it takes a little bit to pull it out. So as we're driving down the road, hopefully they won't come out crashing down with everything. So I've got 1 more to put in, and then we're gonna get this kitchen moving. So the cabinets, the lower side of it anyway, is pretty much done. And the last part I need to do is give it a coat of paint. So we are going with Sherwin-Williams Alabaster because that's what my wife wants. And going to go ahead and do that now. So I think once that part gets done, we're going to see a huge change in here because this has been the longest project ever. All these little drawers was so ridiculously difficult to do and get it right, but it's starting to make some progress. So I'm hoping this will make a big change. So here we go. So, paint is now on, at least the first coat. I'm going to give it some more later, but for now the first coat is on, and I'm pretty happy with it. Looks a lot different. I do kind of miss the wood. A nice stained wood countertop and cabinets would have been really cool too, but I'm liking it. I like this color. I think this will work. So, 1 coat down. I'm going to do some more, and then it's going to look a lot better. So that's all for this episode of 10,000 Roads. We're in the process of rebuilding this kitchen, and we've got a lot more work to do. We've got countertops to build. The whole upper level of this kitchen has work to do, and looking forward to seeing the progress. So please continue to watch our videos, subscribe down below, like our channel, like this video, and you'll be able to see this through to completion. A lot of work to do. The earlier video that we posted on the demo side of it, if you haven't watched that, go back and watch that one, and you'll truly see how bad this kitchen was before we started to do this work on it. We've got a lot more work to do in this RV. We've gutted it down to the studs and the floor, and we're rebuilding the whole thing back up again. So we would love for you to subscribe to our channel so that you're updated whenever we put out new content. Like this video, leave some comments below. We would love to interact and hear from our viewers. So anyway, that's all for this one. Tune in next time. Looking forward to seeing you again. Thanks.